Just waiting for a few people to jump on, and then we will start our Sunday sit down. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said in the previous live streams, this is something that I want to try to do every Sunday, just to try to connect with the viewers and subscribers of the channel and anybody who is on the Facebook group and, just pretty much chat and talk paranormal. So, would love to hear some of your stories of the paranormal as well. Pretty much just anything, like anything that you guys want to talk about, anything that any questions you guys have regarding any of the public events coming up, or anything as far as questions or comments about what you've seen in our videos. So let me just pull up the stream here so that way sometimes it's easier for me to see any comments or questions. Down here too. There we go. So yeah, so like I said, I'll wait for a few people to jump on, and then we will talk about what we have coming up. So. All right, let me get my notes here. And I also would like to take some notes while we're doing these live streams, so that way, if you guys have any suggestions on locations or anything that we want to remember for the next time that we sit down and talk, it's it comes in handy. So I'm gonna be working on a couple of videos, editing some videos tonight too after the live. So I'm excited for you guys to see what we have coming up. We have part 2 of Chase Manor. So if you guys were able to watch part 1, where we went back with like pretty much a whole crew, we captured quite a bit of stuff there, and that's what we're excited about hosting the public event there too. So that's something that I'm really excited to bring some people that may have never been on an investigation before, and also people that have been investigating. They get to see how active this location is. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. And I know a couple other investigators and YouTubers just went to Chase Manor, and they pretty much experienced quite a bit. So I'm hoping to meet up with those guys at some point. Oh, thanks, Susan. I appreciate the feedback. We really try to put together like the best videos that we can, but at the same time staying authentic to the field, because it'll be easy just to throw together a video and stage it or fake it where all this crazy stuff happens and someone gets possessed or claim there's demonic activity in every location, but we stay 100% real in our investigations. So if we don't capture a lot of evidence at a particular location, we're still going to show you guys, how we investigated and show you guys the location itself. So not every location is going to be crazy active or busy as far as paranormal, but we do go with a big crew a lot of times, and I think that's why our team is so successful. The analogy that I like to use a lot of times is it's like fishing. If you have more lines out in the water, you're more likely to get a bite or nibble of a fish. So same thing with paranormal. When you have multiple cameras going, you have multiple devices like EVP recorders or equipment set up around the area, and you have 3 or 4 people actively like investigating in a spot, you're bound to get more evidence. It's just simple, probability and math. So sorry, I missed that, and that didn't pop up on there. Sorry, I'm trying to. Whoops. Yeah, you do stay real. That's why I watch. Yeah, and we really appreciate that, because we know that there's a lot of YouTubers out there and investigators themselves that embellish the evidence or straight out fake it. But the people we collaborate with and our team itself really takes pride on not being in that particular group or niche. So like I tell people too, you don't have to do that stuff at some of these locations. Prime example is Graystone Manor. It was crazy active from the moment we walked in there, and they're just, if you investigate properly and you are patient and you actually take the time to review the evidence, you're gonna find bits and pieces of paranormal that's in there if it doesn't outright happen. Um, the most recent couple investigations at Letchworth Village, where we had the door open, and at Chase Manor when we had the door slam, that happened actually during a live stream, which was pretty cool. You do get events like that happening from time to time. You get people being pushed, or feeling something like touch their hair or brush past them or what have you. So you do get those in some investigations, but be weary of the channels where every single time something nuts happens, because any true investigator will tell you that that doesn't happen. A lot of times you're sitting silent in a room for 20 minutes to an hour and nothing happens. So that's why we also like to try to do only private investigations, and we also try to do overnight investigations where we're there for anywhere from 8 hours to like 24 hours or whatever it may be, simply because you never know when the activity is going to happen. It could happen in broad daylight, or it could happen at like the witching hour, between like 12 and 3 in the morning or whatever. Perfect example of that actually is Chase Manor. When we first went, actually no, the last time we went, the series of videos that are coming out right now, it was very active. We got there, I think, 4 or 5 p.m. and till like 6 or 7 p.m. and it was still pretty light out. Well, it wasn't really light out because it was wintertime, but it was still pretty early out, I guess you'd say. We got a lot of activity right off the bat, and then it kind of died down as it went into the night, which was kind of backwards from what you would expect. So anybody will tell you that goes on these investigations, you never know when it's going to happen. So you just gotta kind of be patient and just wait for it. So and as far as evidence review too, I kind of want to put together a video for you guys that will show you kind of the process that I go through when reviewing evidence. It typically takes me about 2 to 3 weeks to go through all the recorders, and honestly, we probably don't even go through all the video that we actually shoot, just because there's so much of it. We have cameras rolling from the moment we get there, until the moment we leave, pretty much, and we have static cameras. We try to comb through as much as we can, but we all have full-time jobs and we all have families and stuff. So we try to get through as much of it as we can. So one way that I kind of do it is I always review all the audio recordings and EVP sessions and spirit box sessions that we do. That gets 100% reviewed. So then in my editing and review process, once I capture what I think is an EVP, I'll go through the video and try to debunk it if someone moves, coughed, or whatever it may be. And at that point is when I start reviewing big chunks of the video. And a lot of times too, when I'm looking for what's known as B-roll footage, of just like footage of the location itself, like shots of us, walking around, exploring, or what have you. That's actually how I captured the white mist at Penhurst Asylum, because we actually did an EVP session during that walkthrough when Brad and I were on the second floor of the Mayflower building. And I even had in my notes, no EVPs captured, but it's kind of creepy, ambiance walking down that hallway. So I was actually rolling through that footage, and that's when I spotted the anomaly of that white mist. So if you guys haven't seen that on our channel, check it out. I have the full video from Penhurst there, but I also have a small little minute clip, I think minute and a half clip of that occurrence. So, and then the way that we captured the black shadow at the Conjuring House was because we had a spirit box response at that time. So that's again why I went back to that footage at that particular time to review it, and that's when we captured the black shadow on Dan's full spectrum camera that he set up on the REM pod. So that was really cool. But yeah, the next couple videos that I have coming up is part 2 of Chase Manor. We actually got quite a bit of intelligent responses through a spirit box. The spirit box that we were using was the NanoCam, and that is, a standard radio device that sweeps through radio stations, and it pretty much cuts out like the frequencies or the radio bleed through, and you just have like the white noise that's generated. and you do get a little bit of bleed through, but not as much as you would with like a standard SB7. So that's why we like using the nano cam, and just the responses we got through that were pretty cool. So I'm working on that video, and then I'm actually working on a new video um, that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it's actually concerning the Conjuring house, because obviously that house is so notorious for being haunted, and then there's also a lot of claims that it's not haunted, it's just for a money grab, and that kind of got thrown back into the paranormal news cycle once they announced that the house was up for sale. So I want to do a quick video on our personal experience at that house, as far as what we experienced, and I also want to go into some of the claims that some of the people have as far as it not being haunted, and kind of address those point by point. So I think it's gonna be a pretty eye-opening video as far as some of the naysayers, and how, like, what they had to say about it. Um, so the investigation that we're hosting April 2nd, Chase Manor, that we opened up for a public investigation, that was very successful as far as a turnout of people wanting to sign up for it and experience it with us. So as of right now, I believe most of the spots are filled. Like I said in the previous video, we're keeping it to a very minimal group. I think 12 spots, whereas some of these other public ghost hunts and investigations, they'll have like 30 spots, or they'll have 50 spots, where, talking with the owner, Lorna, we both agreed that, we're going to keep it to 12. So that way we can spread out, and it's going to be a more personal investigation. So that we may have one or two spots open up as things sift out, because I reached and contacted everybody who showed interest first. We did say it was first come first serve, just to be fair. And if some people can't go, or for whatever reason something comes up, we'll have because it is 2 months away, so stuff happens, we get that. So but as of right now, it showed a lot of interest. Within 24 hours, we had the spots pretty much, accounted for. So I did speak with the owner about opening up a second investigation, within, the next couple months as well. So that way, if you didn't get a chance to go on this investigation, or, you do go and then you like it a lot. I mean, this is a relatively local spot, where it's an hour and a half away from where we're based out of in Watertown, where we can, easily go there and host investigations for anybody who, wants to tag along and, experience what we experience, and kind of get their feet wet if they're, just starting out and investigating, or if they, just want to experience the Chase Manor for themselves. So we're really excited about that. So, couple other things that I wanted to talk about was just like our upcoming investigations. I know I talked about it during our first live, but what we're going to try to do is at each investigation, we're going to try to go live. So not only are you guys going to get a fully produced video from when we go there, we're going to try to go live at least once throughout the night. And that's where I need your guys' feedback on what times you guys would like to see us go live. I know everybody has different schedules, but we're trying to go live at the time where most people would want to see us, or where most people would be able to watch us live, I guess I should say. So I think our tentative plan for Graystone, which was a week from yesterday, actually, it's on the 12th. We're going to plan to go live, I think, around probably 6 p.m. Do a live walkthrough of the Graystone Manor for you guys. And then maybe again at 9 p.m. Go live with like a part of the investigation. So that way you guys can, if you don't catch the walkthrough at 6, you guys can jump on at 9. I know some people have younger kids where they don't go to bed till after 8 o'clock or whatever. So we're going to try to do 2 different time frames. So that way, if you're not able to capture or to catch the live at 6, you guys can jump on at 9 o'clock and watch the investigation. And even if you can't catch it live, you can always play it back and, watch it, at whatever time you can. So, Yeah, Susan. So six, yeah, that's, I mean, being a sun or being a Saturday, I know not everybody has weekends off, so we figured, 6 p.m. is a decent time. If people do work or whatever, or, it's hard because everyone's schedule is different. So we figured we'd do the two time slots, um, 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. So, and, we also would love feedback as we're doing it. So if we're doing the walkthrough, and we realize that a lot of people watching the videos, some of them are sensitives themselves. Some of our viewers are, gotcha. So yeah, so Susan says she works weekends. So I'm pretty fortunate where I'm able to have weekends off for the most part. If I do work, I work early in the morning. Um, yeah. So while we're doing the walkthrough, if any of you guys watching have some abilities or like strong feelings or intuitions about certain rooms, let us know. I know during one live, it was actually pretty cool. We were doing a live at the Bundy Museum, and one of our viewers is like a sensitive medium, and she sensed like a little girl in the room. And unbeknownst to her, before we went live, when we were just recording a session, we actually got the presence of a little girl in that room. So she validated our live, or she validated our regular investigation while she was watching live with her comments. So, and that's part of the reason why we go live as well, is so that way it's more like an interactive investigation for people who aren't there with us. I know, for instance, like Kindred Spirits, they've been doing that with Chip Coffee. So, um, where he's going remote as they're walking through, and then he can pick up just based on seeing it through video, which is pretty cool. And I know I haven't personally met Chip Coffee, but there's a couple locations I've been to that all they do is speak highly of them. If you actually watch part of our Burn Bray Mansion videos, Mike, the owner, he was a skeptic before he bought Burn Bray Mansion, and I think I forgot which episode it was. I think it might have been Psychic Kids with Chip Coffee, but he said Chip was picking up on stuff that there's absolutely no way that anybody would have known concerning Burn Bray Mansion. So that kind of made him a believer, and I guess at least the psychic aspect of it. Um, and then I know Kindred Spirits also went to Graystone too, so they've kind of developed a relationship with Heather Madison, who's the owner, one of the owners of Graystone Manor. So, we're excited to go back there just because we had so much experience the first time around. And they actually done some renovations since we've been there. And a big belief in the paranormal field is that renovations will stir stuff up. So I know they did a lot of work in the basement area, and that's where we had a lot of activity as far as like REM pod going off. We had spirit box responses. We had someone get their hair tugged, and then we captured an EVP. We did an EVP birth session down there, and we actually got the name Daniel. And Daniel is actually one of the names of a person who died at the house. So I can't remember exactly how many people have died in the house itself. I know at least two that right off the top of my head that I can tell you. Curtis Root did, and then Daniel did, and I'm sure there's more. Um, but it's just with these locations, I follow Graystone Manor on their Facebook, and they're constantly unraveling history of the house. So that's pretty cool that you think like the basic history of it, and then you'll find like an old article or something that says, "Oh no, the house was built even earlier than they thought." I think I touched on that during the last live, where now they actually think the house is pre-Civil War. So that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, so we have that coming up this weekend. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Like I said, I plan to go live from there 6 p.m., 9 p.m. And then we do have the Allegiance Bed and Breakfast booked out. We do have our friends from Beyond the Grave investigations, Jason and Dawn. They're going to be joining us on that one. So if you guys jump over to their Facebook page, Beyond the Grave Investigations, they do some great work. We actually tried to do a collaboration with them last fall, but it kind of fell through. The location fell through. So we're excited to team up with them. And then Graystone this weekend, we're going to have some investigators with us too join up. So I'm just trying to hammer out all the details as far as making sure they're, it's kind of touch and go if between people's schedules and whatnot. So be on the lookout for some guest investigators this coming weekend as well. And like I said before, the Shanley Hotel is coming up in May, so I may be repeating myself a little bit, but depending on who's watching the live streams, I just want to make sure we get all that information out there. Shanley Hotel, May 14th, that's going to be one of our bigger investigations for the year. That is known to be one of the most haunted hotels on the East Coast, if not probably in the whole United States. Everybody that I have spoken to that has been there have said it's just absolutely nuts. So we're excited to go there. We rented out the whole place for ourselves. So we're gonna have the whole hotel to try to run around and pretty much a paranormal playground at that point. So we're really looking forward to that. So as far as for our group, that's our group upcoming investigations. Sorry, I just missed that. Let me check that here. So Tara, where did you go 2 months ago? Did you go to the Shanley? So Susan, yeah, the Stanley. So the Stanley is in Colorado. So that's where. Okay, so Tara went to the Shanley. Okay, yeah. So Susan, we're going to the Shanley, which is in New York, which is another hotel that's said to be really haunted. So, and the Stanley is in Colorado, which is what the hotel where Stephen King stayed at, where he reportedly got the idea for The Shining. So we do want to go there too. So a lot of times those two kind of get jumbled up. Sometimes I sometimes misspeak and say, "Hey, I'm going to Stanley," and someone's like, "No way!" I'm like, "Oh no, I meant Shanley." So, but I guess the Shanley is actually just as haunted. So Tara, what were some of your experiences there? Did you go for like an investigation, or did you go to like a public event? I'd love to hear what you experienced. So if you want to share it sometime. Yes, I've seen the others go there too. Cat spirits to the Shanley. I swear I saw one. Oh, so that's awesome. Oh, it's a private event. Awesome. So yeah, so my wife, she actually experienced a cat spirit at Fort Ontario. Now we went to Fort Ontario. I want to say it was our second or third like big private investigation that we've ever done. So we were still kind of learning the ropes as far as like filming and editing and all that. So I do have a little bit on the channel from Fort Ontario. I actually didn't film as much as I normally do just because I don't even think I was editing videos at that time. So I wasn't really like 100% on like getting all the walkthrough shot and stuff like that. So we do have a couple clips on our channel. I want to say it's like I don't remember the title of the video. It's like a 9 or 10 minute video where it was like 2 or 3 locations combined. So Tara says we were able to get a ton of communication with our devices, intelligent responses. That's awesome. I actually follow the Shanley on their Facebook page, and they have either a geoport or what's the other? Can't think of the other term. George Brown is the one that makes them. There's a geoport, and there's another one that's similar, but it functions a little bit different. But I believe what the Shanley has is a geoport. And when I watch their Facebook videos, it's crazy the responses that they get. They do get intelligent responses all the time. And that's why I'm excited to show you guys part 2 of Chase Manor, because we used the nanocom and we were getting intelligent responses to our questions. So um, when people use devices like the GeoPort or GeoBox or whatever, um, I really enjoy it because it's not like an app through a phone. It's not like something that can like pick up a voice or mimic or anything that can be manipulated, I guess you'd want to call it. So how what lost my train of thought. So Tara, you said you went to a private event. How long ago was that? Was it, you said, a few months ago? Sorry, my throat's getting dry. So, hey Christina, how's it going? Glad you can join the live. We're trying to go live every Sunday just to touch up, um, keep up with the communication on what's happening. Try to update you guys on any of the public events. Like I said, the Chase Manor event, April 2nd, got. Oh, Chad's on. Hey Chad, how's it going? So guys, Chizza Chad, make sure you check out his channel. Um, I think it was in November. Okay, so yeah, so Tara is talking about the Shanley Hotel. She said she got some crazy responses and felt a spirit ghost cat. So guys, Chizza Chad, he's gonna be joining us at Graystone. So make sure you guys hop over, check out his channel. We've worked with Chad, Iron Island Museum. We went to Middletown Psychiatric. We've done Wildwood Sanitarium. So it's always a pleasure to work with Chad, and he has some great videos. He does some crazy locations. So you guys won't be disappointed. Make sure you jump over to his channel. Show him some love, and check out some of his videos. They're absolutely nuts. Um, it was Chad. So here's a quick little story. So we were at Wildwood Sanitarium, and I was always a little bit skeptical of the Ovilus. So just because it is a word bank, and I'm like, well, sometimes the words could just be coincidence or what have you. But we were talking about Nick Groff, because Nick Groff, that's probably where most people know Wildwood Sanitarium from, was from Paranormal Lockdown with Nick Groff. So I think me and Chad were talking about how Nick is like well known there, and I think the owner Lori was talking about how they still ask for Nick, and then we were walking down in the basement, and you know, of course, Obulus goes Nick. So just the chances of that happening right after we were talking about it were crazy. And then as we were walking up to the third floor, it said Derek, where, I mean, I don't know what the odds are of the Obulus. I can't talk today. Um, saying my name, but it made me pause, because I'm like, okay, now saying one name when we were just talking about it is, pretty freaky. And then once it said my name as we were walking upstairs, it was just, I'm like, okay, I believe it. So, um, yeah. So Chad has some great equipment. He has an Ovilus 3, he has an Ovilus 5. So, that's another thing too, is when we collab with other investigators, they bring different tools that we may not necessarily use or utilize ourselves. I know I personally just love doing EVP sessions. Other investigators like doing, like the Ovilus, or they do, portal sessions, or, everybody has their own method and, preference on how they investigate. So that's why I think it's pretty cool um, to collaborate. So that way you get different views and different methods on investigations, because there's not, anybody will tell you there's not like 100% right and wrong way to investigate. It's all based on, what you feel like works best for you and what you feel is the most compelling evidence. So some people may not take stock in EVPs, whereas I do, and vice versa, where, I may not agree with some of the methods, but then again, some people don't believe in ghosts at all and think it's all hogwash. So, you just got to, be respectful with everybody's method. And, if you don't like it, then just ignore it and move on. So that's one thing that we try to conduct ourselves by. We don't try to necessarily slam any other teams, but we do pride ourselves on being authentic and bringing you guys the best videos that we can. So yeah, Chad will be joining us at Graystone. I'm still working on a couple other investigators to see if they can make it, because that place is huge. And like I said before, I know as far as like contamination and as far as like size groups, sometimes the larger the groups, the more confusing and more difficult it is to run an investigation. But I think, we've done it before. We've collabed with these people before where we work it out, we split up, we have a game plan going into it, and, we have successful investigations. So, yeah, so if you guys have any questions, comments, make sure you guys are sharing the videos. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. We always appreciate it. We're closing in on 2,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I mean, we just pretty much been uploading videos. We're going on like our third year uploading. So it's great that we're starting to get a nice core following, and we appreciate each and every one of you that follow the videos. And just by liking, sharing, commenting, anything you guys can do to help support the channel, it goes a long way, and we greatly appreciate it. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We will be going live every Sunday at 5 p.m. As long as I'm able to do it. I plan on doing that just to sit down and chat with you guys, just see what's going on. And I'd love to get it like a weekly thing where we have, a dialogue going back and forth where, I'd love to hear from you guys too. I run out of things to say after a while. So if you guys, have any questions, any experiences, if you guys have gone into an investigation like Tara said earlier, I'd love to hear about that stuff. That's stuff that we could also use on our own investigations. Anything that you guys experience. Because I feel like any spirits at locations, they have a memory, and I think any investigator will tell you. I know Beyond the Grave investigations, he uses a DR60 Panasonic recorder, which is pretty much known to be like the gold standard of digital recorders, because the captures it has is absolutely crazy. And it actually says "Remember me, Jason." So not only does it say "Remember me," which shows intelligence, it shows intelligence by saying the investigator's name. So if you guys go to a location that we are going to, let us know your experience, and we'll ask questions based on that. Like, hey, do you guys remember Tara? Or hey, who's the cat that rubbed up against this person? Anything that we can use, any information that we can use for our investigation, it'd be awesome to try to, not only validate your experience, but, use it to aid our investigation. So, yeah, guys. So, stay tuned. Saturday, February 12th, we will be at Graystone Manor. We will go live tentatively 6 p.m. We'll start. We'll do another live at 9 p.m. We'll do a 6 p.m. walkthrough. Then we'll do a 9 p.m. investigation. Hope to see you guys there. Thanks for tuning in. Well, actually, Tara just said something. I had some awesome audio from Rolling Hills a couple years ago. I have to see if I can find it so I can send it to you guys. Yeah, Tara, definitely. Rolling Hills was awesome. We went there. That was one of our first investigations as well. We loved it there, and that's actually the first place where I heard a disembodied voice, like without aid of any equipment. I was walking down in the basement, trying to find the morgue, and I heard a whisper in my ear. And I think it's actually in the Rolling Hills video, the full length video, the 45-minute video we did from there. Same. So did you hear? Are you saying same as far as like that's the first place you heard a disembodied voice, or that's where you heard the voice? Which would be really interesting to find out. See, this is awesome. This is exactly what I was talking about. Because once you start talking to other investigators and you start talking to people that have investigated the same locations, you'll find out like they'll have similar experiences, which is like I said, it validates what you went through or what you experienced at that location. First investigation ever and first time hearing a voice. Oh, that's awesome. So, yeah, Rolling Hills is no joke. I mean, we would love to get back there. We just have to figure out, a time that works for our whole group. And and just make sure it works for everybody. So yeah, Rolling Hills, I can't say enough about that place. That place is certainly something else. So but yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. So stay tuned, and we hope to see you on the next live at Graystone Manor. Thank you, guys.